The shadow of horns looms over the General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drags. With 2 wins in 2 rounds, Ram Trucks is looking to sweep number 3. Poised for a hard charge, the Black Bighorn may be ready to crack some skulls. Monster Power coming at you from the Allen County Fairgrounds in Lima, Ohio for the final day of the Monster Truck Thunder Drags. The first stop of this 3-stop tour, and Tim, the Raminator has been on kill this week, and the truck looks perfect.
Well, thanks. We spend a lot of time preparing for the Jamborees. We really like these events. And with Matt getting a chance to run his truck as Raminator here, we spent a lot of time on it, making sure it was all ready. We've been testing marks with some new stuff back home to for some new things that we're going to try next. But thought we had a pretty good tune-up for Matt's, and guessed pretty good at the gear. When you're the first guy out, and we had been the last couple of races, it's a little bit difficult, because you got to kind of, no practice, you got to guess at the setup. But we've been coming here a long time, and we sort of knew what to expect, and guessed pretty close.
Now, has he been figuring out the starting line in the no man's land on his own, or are you sharing notes with him, or how is that working?
Oh, yeah, there's a little bit of both. We talk a lot. I used to race, so I know a little bit of what they're feeling inside there. And then Matt's very good, as is Mark, at reporting back to us, hey, what's going on, they've got a lot of laps down the track, so I let them figure it out. I know what the truck needs, and we talk about it together, and Matt helps me with a lot of he and I build engines and stuff for him, so he knows too that side of it. So we're thinking, okay, let's do this, let's try this, and it usually works pretty well.
The General truck seems like it's running pretty good too, and as you said, a little bit of an experience gap there. Do those guys share notes back and forth when they see something? Because Matt said he's lining up a little bit different. I won't give away the secret, but he's lining up a little bit different on the starting line than the rest of these guys who are hooking in that right lane. Matt was one of the few guys who could really blow the doors off in the right lane. Are those guys sharing notes back and forth?
Absolutely, they do. Mark coaches him. Matt coaches him. Tells him a lot of things. Those collectively. Mark's been driving 30 years or 33 years, and Matt, I don't know, probably at least 10 now. How long he's been with us? So, and Curtis, this is only his second, so he's learning. And Curtis has never driven any other monster truck except ours. So he started right with a pretty powerful machine. He didn't work his way up from something else. So it's kind of like starting off in top fuel, or whatever. You're getting handed a pretty powerful machine, and he's figuring it out and learning to react quick to what it needs. So, but yes, they do help him.
All right, well, thanks, Tim, and hopefully the Ram Juggernaut can make it a Triple Crown sweep this weekend and maybe take a freestyle victory. He's hitting that pretty hard. We're going to head now across the track to my colleague, Tim Howard, who's standing by with Matt Dishman.
Oh. Here we are again with Matt Dishman, winner of racing again yesterday. So, Matt, you're dominating the racing here this weekend. What should we expect from you again today?
We're just going to come out. We're just going to give it our best shot like we have been all weekend. It's been working out pretty well for us. I know the other guys are getting all dialed in. So, when you come out here and you race, you really don't know what to expect. We just roll the dice and hope for the best.
Man, I'll tell you what, you've been dominating. And that truck is flying down that racing lane yesterday. So I wish you the best of luck. We'll come visit you again after the show and see how you did.
I hope so. That'll work out pretty good.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of confidence in that Ram Trucks pit area. Here's a look at the points coming into today's action. The Raminator with a 120-point lead over the Lucas Oil Bigfoot. Then it's Overkill Evolution and Bad News Travels Fast tied for third and fourth. And, of course, the General Tire and Black Stallion machines rounding out the points. And you see dead center of our bracket today, Raminator and General Tire, the teammates, will face each other in round number 1. Not the way they wanted to start off this last day here in Lima, Ohio. Of course, Bad News Travels Fast and Overkill Evolution will start our bracket. These two have faced each other already this weekend, and it went the way of Chevrolet Brandon Darrow. out of Elkton, Virginia. There you see him right there, the lone Chevy in the field, gets set to take on Williamsport, Maryland's Mikey Vauders in Overkill Evolution. Good start. Both getting down and digging in, and look at the hang time going over the finish line. That was a very, very close matchup. Now, they steepened those ramps for freestyle last night, and I don't think they knocked him back down. Both those guys caught huge air going over the finish line. Waiting on word to see who the winner was. Going to be Brandon Darrow, and Bad News travels fast by 1/100th of a second. 5:06 clocking on that run. Not a bad run for either one of those guys. That means Mikey ran a 5:07. So a good pair of runs to start things off on some very, very steep ramps. We'll get another look at it. You'll see exactly how close it was. Watch the start and watch the way they get into no man's land. A slight jump from Mikey Vauders off the line, but they came over the tabletop differently. It looks like Darrow may have gotten the rear wheels to settle a little quicker, and that's how he may have been able to drive around Mikey Vauders, but that was a very, very close call to have to make, and then the hard landing for Brandon Darrow in the shutdown area. Using up all that grass out there to get that thing slowed down. Darrow will take on the winner of this matchup right here. Pair of Rams rolling out onto the starting line, and again, not the way these guys wanted to start off this last race here in Lima. The Hall Brothers Race Camp going toe-to-toe right here. Experience points have to go to that truck. Matt Dishman in the Raminator has to be the favorite here. He's undefeated so far in Lima, Ohio. This will be his 7th time down the track this weekend. Let's see what he has for Kurt Kramer. Great start for both, but right there, Dishman just checked out on Kramer, and some big hang time. Look out for the pole. Wow. Matt Dishman. Sizable victory, but he had to get that truck lowered in the shutdown area. Kurt Kramer on the way back to the pits. We'll see if the General Tire Ram can get back into this thing. Another look at it, and watch Matt Dishman sail over the finish line and then climb on the binder. Telephone pole coming up dead center of the grill. What a run. So, Darrow and Dishman will meet in the semis. Who will be our other pair? We'll find out when we come back to Lima, Ohio.
This Back Channel Productions program is presented in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date show and ticket info, articles, event breakdowns, and a wide selection of photo and video galleries, visit monstersmonthly.com.
We will four-wheel drive you wild. The O'Reilly Auto Parts four-wheel jamboree roars into the Indiana State Fairgrounds all this weekend, Friday through Sunday. Big, tough, lifted, unstoppable. With shiny rides, muddy tires, the Tough Truck Challenge, General Tire Burnout, the UTV Shootout, and lightning fast mud drag. See Bigfoot and the world's top monsters in the General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drag. Shop and save in the huge performance marketplace. Get discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Info at fourwheeljamboree.com. Part of the Lucas Oil Four-Wheel Jamboree Series.
Back at the Allen County Fairgrounds in Lima, Ohio, getting ready for the third and final pairing of round number 1. There you see Christian Norman in the Lucas Oil Bigfoot coming out to face off with Mike Vauders Sr. driving the safety clean Black Stallion. Mike, a legend in monster trucks. He had a rough day yesterday. Blew a transfer case in round number 1 yesterday afternoon, facing off with Brandon Darrow, and Bad News travels fast. They were unable to effect repairs in time for freestyle that show. He did, however, make it back for freestyle number 3, put on a wild one, and now he finds himself back on the starting line with Christian Norman in the Lucas Oil Bigfoot 18. Great start for both trucks. Very close race, more big air going into the shutdown area, but I do believe that Norman got the measure of Otters on that one. 5:09 ET, not a bad run at all for Christian Norman, and he still is not up in that range with Matt Dishman in the Raminator. Dishman laying down sub 5-second run there in round number 1. Believe it or not, the rain we got earlier in the day might be serving to help these guys. It's dried out just enough. They seem to be getting a lot of bite off the starting line. Here's our bracket. You see where our fast loser is going to be going into the semifinal round. Overkill Evolution. He will take on Christian Norman and Bigfoot. And the Big Bad Ram, the Hemi out of Illinois, takes on Brandon Darrow, and Bad News Travels Fast. So representation for all 3 major brands at this point still in the running here in Lima, Ohio. The lone hope for the Chevy fans, staging up in the right lane against the Big Bad Ram and the Hall Brothers Racing Team. Those guys, much like Darrow is doing right now, fighting their way to the top over many, many years, and now they've reached probably the pinnacle of monster truck racing, the world's fastest monster truck. Raminator out of Champaign, Illinois, taking on Brandon Darrow, and Bad News Travels Fast. Neither one pushing the other one to the starting line. They just stage up. They're going to settle this once the green light goes. Awesome start for the Ram, and he just drove away from Brandon Darrow. A little bit of a hard landing there in the shutdown area. Nowhere near that pole this time. Stayed to the left of it. Remember, in round 1, he got, look at that, a 4.99. Ran a 4.97 in round 1, so a very consistent pair of runs. Only 0.02 of a second slower, really kind of negligible. When you consider no one else has really gotten in the range with him. Another look at it, he actually started to launch to the left a little bit there. Not as clean as he has been so far earlier in the week. But again, just once the truck settled, he got down and made horsepower. You see, though, he had a weird twist when he came off that last jump. That could end up causing him problems if he can't get that thing straightened out. But Matt, one of the best, should be able to figure out how to get that truck straight across the finish line. There you see Christian Norman coming back out for his semifinal round matchup with Mikey Vodders, pair of Fords here. The second matchup of the semifinals. Dry hop there for Christian Norman. Here comes Mikey. He had a little trouble getting started back there. Hopefully nothing that will keep him from making the run. This team has had a rough weekend so far here in Lima. Mikey struggling with some steering parts. Chasing down some gremlins on the Overkill Evolution Ford. Very, very different builds, very different concepts and chassis design, but a very evenly matched pair of trucks right here, and 2 awesome drivers. This should be a good one. Real even start. Big launch over the finish line. Vodders taking a bit of a ride there in the shutdown area. Not sure who won that one. Overkill Evolution getting the victory. What is the time though? Look at that, a 4.97. He matches Matt Dishman heading toward the final round in a 100th of a second margin of victory for the big Ford out of Maryland. Mikey Vodders. Inches Christian Norman at the finish line. Look at the start, even start. This was a good race all the way through. They both hit their marks. Both of them settled down in no man's land, and Mikey edges out Christian Norman to put down a 4.97 ET and match Matt Dishman's fast time. It's going to be a close one in the championship. Here in Lima, Ohio at the Allen County Fairgrounds, we are getting ready for our championship matchup here at the last final of the weekend. The General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drags. Mikey Botters staging over the tabletop. He gets ready to face off with Matt Dishman in the Raminator. Dishman laying down a 497 in round number 1. Botters came back in the semifinals as a fast loser to match that 497. Dishman with the 499, only 0.02 of a second off of his first round time when he came back in the semifinals as a winner there. You see, he has pushed Mikey into that right lane. Has not been the favorable lane this weekend so far. Most of the wins have come out of the left lane. We've seen a couple out of that right lane, but the big wins seem to be coming out of this left lane. Both of them headed to the starting line. Pair of 497s going in. This should be an awesome matchup in the finals. Little problem for Dishman. Very close at the end. It looked like an edge to the ram. Some wild, wild rides in that shutdown area for Mikey Botters. He just had another one. He used up all that shutdown space. Look at Dishman. Just riding that momentum out as far as they could. Your winner, though, Matt Dishman at a 5-second flat. Look at that, 0.03 of a second margin of victory at the end. He is undefeated here in Lima. Matt Dishman with a perfect run to start things off. The General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drags. Not as much dust kicked up in our faces this time around. I think the rain's actually helped us. Look at that. Little bit of bobble coming off the starting line. Dishman actually had to straighten up, but once he laid the horsepower to it, he was able to drive away from Mikey Botters just enough to get that front end over that finish line first. And look at Botters with that sideways landing. Both of them rolling all the way through the shutdown area. And there you see the points coming out of today's action. Raminator extending his points lead a full 200 points over the Lucas Oil Bigfoot Overkill Evolution, now tied with the Lucas Oil Bigfoot in the top 3 now. You know it's not over if you've been following the pattern. We're going to go right into the best trick competition. Mike Botters Sr. in the Safety Clean Black Stallion. Headed out. Looks like he's going to go for a popper. As the rain starts to come down, didn't quite work for him. Got buff Goodyears on the front. Now, they may not stick in the dirt the way Mikey's tires are. Mikey running some Ukraines. Real soft compound, real aggressive tread. Mike Sr. with these Goodyears. Not going to get that traction that Mikey's got, but we know Mike can stand it up on the nose. Looks like he may come back around and try it again. Back up on the ramp on the other side. You can see the rain coming down here in the foreground. Still kicking up dust in spite of it, but that rain's actually serving to keep the dust down here today. Not bad, but it's not going to work for him. Mike Botters Sr. trying for that popper. Did not materialize. Not a bad attempt, though. I think those ramps might be even steeper than they were yesterday. It looks like he caught the 4-link bars on the back of that race ramp there. Got it over on the nose, just not far enough, and it wouldn't stick. He actually slid down the ramp a little bit. Not a bad attempt, though, for Mike Botters Sr. in the Safety Clean Black Stallion. We know he'll have something for freestyle, and here comes Kurt Kramer in the big, bad General Tire Ram out of Champaign, Illinois. He's ready. Has not been 100% happy with his performance here this weekend. Wants to give these fans something to keep them warm here as the rain cools them off just a little bit. He's lining up for these tires. Probably going to try to get another one of those walking wheelies out of this big Hemi motor. Stands it up perfect. Look at that. Walking it Oh, he's in big trouble. Over into the wall. Kurt Kramer right in front of our camera. Getting the crowd on their feet. The safety crew making their way down there. We see the thumbs up. Jeff Lucky, one of the first guys there. Lucky, of course, fire and rescue and photography. There you see Cheech, crew chief for All Brothers Racing, making his way down. Check on Kurt Kramer. Kurt looks to be all right. They'll probably go ahead and right the truck with Kurt still in it. We're going to take a quick break, clean up the track, and be back with more Best Tricks. Stay with us.
We will four-wheel drive you wild. The O'Reilly Auto Parts four-wheel jamboree roars into the Indiana State Fairgrounds all this weekend, Friday through Sunday. Big, tough, lifted, unstoppable. With shiny rides, muddy tires, the Tough Truck Challenge, General Tire Burnout, the UTV Shootout, and lightning fast mud drags. See Bigfoot and the world's top monsters in the General Tire Monster Truck Thunder Drag. Shop and save in the huge performance marketplace. Get discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Info at fourwheeljamboree.com. Part of the Lucas Oil Four-Wheel Jamboree Series.
This was moments ago. Kurt Kramer remains inside. There goes the roof. Cheech picking that up. The General Tire Ram taking the lead in the Best Trick competition. Only made one move. We might call it a combo as he did a wheel stand and put the truck on its lid. Go ahead and call that two moves now. Brandon Darrow going to try to one him up with the wheelies. Darrow, we know, can get the job done, and he does so right there. An awesome slap wheelie off those big freestyle pads on the outside. Those are some huge jumps over by the poles on the outside of the infield. And now Darrow will come back toward these tires. He has been getting some great wheel stands off of these tires here this weekend. He's going to try for a second one, maybe have a shot at taking over the lead. He won the Best Trick competition yesterday with some awesome wheel stands. See if he can get another one here. He's got one already. Couldn't get the front end to stand up. It was coming over to the right on him. He had to back out of it. Not what Brandon Darrow wanted out of the big Silverado from Virginia. Another look at that first hit, though. Little twist, but he stood it straight up and down, drags the wheelie bar and the flag through the dirt. Awesome job for Brandon Darrow, and Bad News travels fast. Now, Christian Norman, Lucas Oil Bigfoot, another guy who's laid down some crazy slap wheelies here this weekend. Had a one-wheel wheelie yesterday. Looks like he's going to open things up with a donut. A little dust down here on the front stretch. Still got some mud on that body from yesterday. But we got just the perfect amount of rain right now. It's just enough to not ruin the track, but kind of keep the dust down. Moisten the dirt a little bit. Norman getting another slap wheelie. Didn't ride it out, though. I think he thought he might have been headed over toward those telephone poles. Let out of it. I think he may be trying to come back and win him another freestyle competition. He has 2 of 3 so far this weekend. This 4th freestyle competition will be taking place later on today. He would love to go out of here with the freestyle lead, or at least keep the lead that he's got right now. Mikey Vauders, though, would like to make it a tie. That's the best you can hope for coming out of this weekend, because, again, Christian Norman has 2 of 3, and there are 4. Speaking of Mikey Vauders, here he comes right now, and we know what he is at least going to start with. Mikey, been going for these poppers all weekend long. These ramps were set up just for him. Let's see what he can do. Front end up. Hits it perfectly. It's twisting on him again. Slamming the rear end down on top of that center tough truck mound. Not what he's going for. What Mikey wants to do is rotate it over on the nose and then slowly drive it forward. What he's doing is still spectacular. You can't take anything away from him, but it's not what he's going for. One of the most critical of himself drivers you'll ever meet. Another good one. Over on one wheel there for a second. That's a pretty spectacular pair of moves he made right there. I think he's still maybe having a steering problem. Does not run a locker in the front end, so once it gets over on one wheel, it's kind of hard to really drive the truck out. He's got to stand a little bit. Does not want to tear up the front axles or the front drivetrain at all. Doesn't want to tear up the transmission, but did get both of them rotated over on the nose. Look at that, on the right front tire, and you see the left front spinning backwards as the right front rolls around.
All right, this is Ragnar. He's going out to the far side. He wants his teammate put it on the back end. He's going to try it himself. Here comes Ragnar.
Here we go. Matt Dishman. Another guy who's got some awesome wheelies. Boy, it is just not there on the front stretch for these two guys. Maybe too much horsepower. He spun the tires on the sand. This track normally used for some great AMA flat track motorcycle racing. Probably some of the best motorcycle racing in the country. We'll see what Dishman has. Didn't get what he wanted out of that. He's really chasing his teammate right now, who laid down a spectacular run. He laid the truck over on its side right here in front of our cameras. Straight up and down. Didn't get any air out of it, but he did put the front end straight in the air. I don't think that's going to take over, but it was spectacular. Look at that. I think if he had a little less chassis there, maybe a little softer dirt, he could have left it on the rear end. What a run for the Rams here. And there is your champion in the best trick competition, Kurt Kramer. Taking a wild ride in the best trick to follow up Matt Dishman's racing championship and undefeated streak here in Lima, Ohio. Timmy got the Triple Crown sweep we talked about at the beginning of the day. Matt got that for you. Got to the finish line first every time. Consistent runs. This truck went through hell behind us. Bittersweet weekend for you.
Yeah, it was a little tough. You know, I'm glad we came here to win the races, and that's what, you know, we know Mikey's tough and Christian's tough, and all them guys are, everybody here is tough in the freestyle stuff, but we know the racing is our niche, and that's what we wanted to get. Fortunately, we were able to do that. And now, General Tire took a bit of a beating. That's the way it goes sometimes, but you know, we'll put him back together. Fortunately, there's not much damage. Good weekend, all in all. And the rain held off, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, points lead for you. Little rain today, kept the dust down. Track seemed to have a lot of grip to it.
Yeah, it did. You know, I wish we didn't realize they had steepened that ramp up and left it. We knew they did that last night, but we thought they were going to put it back to the way it was. But those guys did a really good job getting the track in raceable condition, you know, with the rain. The track was fantastic. You know, it really was good. You could get a hold of it good, and I think they did a good job. So we'll work on a few things, and we'll be ready for Bloomsburg to hopefully continue. Keep this Ram rolling.
Oh, thanks, Tim. We'll see you in Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
We are still not done here in Lima, Ohio. Next time, it's Modified Tough Truck Eliminations. That's going to be absolutely insane. You're not going to want to miss that. And then we'll wrap things up, our final edition from Lima with Monster Truck Freestyle. 2 awesome episodes coming your way. For all of us here at Monster Power, we thank you for joining us. We will see you next week.